You should subscribe to the Monaresclub. Because the Principal Saints told you to, idiot. Bye.
What's good, guys? Bringing another deck profile here, Monaresclub, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite leaders to come out this year. This will be Garlic Jr. I really didn't care about him that much when he was first spoiled, but then I started playing him just for fun, and I was like, you know what? This is actually a really good time. I enjoy it, so I really wanted to share this profile with you guys. What's this guy do? Well, he's got the Overlord ability, which means you can once per turn take a card with the Servant keyword from your battle area, put it on the bottom of your deck, draw one. Really good. We have a lot of those cards with the word Servant in here, so it's a really strong draw engine. He has an auto when you attack, draw one, and then you can awaken at 4 life, or if you have a Unison with specify cost 3 in play. So getting early awaken is really nice too. On the backside, he's got that same Overlord ability. Once per turn, or auto when he attacks, you draw one. And he also has an auto when your opponent attacks, you can play a Demon Clan card from your hand in rest mode, and then negate that auto skill that played it for free for the turn. So crazy good, just helps you get your board spammed. You have a bunch of effects that want you to have Demon Clans in play, and a bunch of Demon Clans with good on-play abilities. So that's the leader. We're going to start out with the 4 Machio Star. This is your staple. You really want to see one in the opening hand. It comes into play, you dig 5 for a Demon Clan, and then it has an auto. At the end of every one of your turns, you can play a Demon Clan from your hand with cost 2 or less with its skills negated for the turn. So you have, like I said, you have a bunch of effects that need you to have Demon Clans in play. So this is a really good way to get those in play and to get cards with the Servant keyword in play to then start using your Overlord on and eating them to get card value. So this is your turn 1 you really want to see on turn 1. Your deck functions a lot worse without it. And then in order to grab that, we also have these Gassius of the Demonic Elite 4. This has a activate main, you can discard it and search your deck for a Machio Star. It's like you effectively have 8 copies of Machio Star. He has another ability that you can put him into play for 1 energy. You can use it if you have the energy later on in the game, but you're mostly just going to be using him to tutor the Machio Stars out of your deck. Even after you have 1, because you can it just thins your deck out, then you can use the Machio Star for energy on the next turn. So that's kind of the idea there. So that's your starting package, 8 Machio Stars essentially. Now we'll get into the servants. We've got 3 Roshi, 3 Yamcha, 3 Bulma, and 3 Chi-Chi. So these guys all do something slightly different. They're all servants, so they work with your Overlord skill. If I know the Chi-Chis are a little harder to find because they're a promo, so if you don't have them, what I've been recommending to people is you just cut these 3 and just add 1 more of each of these. It works just almost as well. The Chi-Chi is just really nice because you can play it off of your leader auto and get her ability to rest mode one of their cards to help stall harder, and that's kind of your main wombo combo with your leader, but you know, it's the deck still functions without her, so I would still recommend trying it out even if you don't have access to her. The Bulma has a really nice ability. You can pay a yellow, dig 5 for a Demon Clan and put it into your hand, or your Unison. It can grab your Unison as well, so that's really important. Yamcha's a blocker, and he has a 20k blocker because he's a servant, really beefy. And then Roshi has this great ability, once per turn when you play him, you draw a card. And we have ways of recycling him and like spamming him over and over, so he turns into a great card draw engine. So all of these have really awesome uses on their own. Yamcha's great D, Chi-Chi's great D, Bulma and Roshi are just awesome, awesome just like value to continue to keep your hand full to keep the game going longer, because this deck is definitely more of a control deck. It can aggro a little bit earlier on, but it's definitely just one of those decks that just wants to kind of make the game go longer, and get as much value as it can every single turn, and then just kind of overwhelm your opponent with a huge board and a huge hand, and you just say, okay, you have cards, but I have more cards, and I'm going to win this game eventually. So that's what these guys kind of help you support to do that. Servants. Alright, now this is the meat and potatoes right here. Garlic Jr., Overlord of the Dead Zone. Man, he's so hard to... This text is so hard to read on the SPR. But he has an EX Evolve. First of all, he's a unique Indestructible critical. Indestructible 30k is stupid, and it's got critical on top of that. So every time you're swinging at your opponent, you're pressuring a crit hit, or they have to combo out or negate it. It's just helps to press that game plan of just slowly running your opponent out of cards. It's great. He also has the Overlord ability, so once you have him in play, you can Overlord multiple times in a turn. Pretty good. But the main thing that's great about him is he has this, and that's all, despite all of the things I just said, the best thing about him is yet to come. He has an activate main once per turn. You can look at the bottom card of your deck, and if it's a card with the Servant keyword, you can put it into play. I believe it's Servant keyword, it might just be Demon Clan. No, it's just a Demon Clan card, so even it's generally going to be a card with Servant, because you put it on the bottom of your deck with Overlord, but you can put one of these like Gassies into play if you just randomly spike one. It's not generally how it's going to work, but you can. So that's the combo with Roshi here, is you can use him to play a Roshi from the bottom of your deck that you've set up with your Overlord from your leader, put him on the bottom, play Roshi, trigger him again, draw another card, assuming you haven't played one in this turn yet, and you're off to the races. It also lets you just kind of recycle your servants because they stay in rest mode, so you can recycle like your Yamcha blockers or whatever and get more swings in, because they are 20k swings. It's pretty beefy. This guy's like your primary thing you want to be doing. He's your big engine of the deck. In order to get him out, your evolved targets are Garlic Jr., Immortal Avenger. This is the promo from, or no, not promo, just the expansion pack card from the Set 11 expansion, which kind of pushed this deck up to the next level. You can play him for a single yellow if you activate your Overlord skill, I believe. Yeah, when one of your Demon Clan cards is removed from your battle area by a skill, which is generally just going to be you overlording with your leader. You go Overlord, reveal this card, put the Servant on the bottom, draw one, pay a yellow, put him into play. He has another ability, it doesn't come up super often, he's mostly just there to then be, you pay a yellow, put him into play, then pay another yellow, evolve him instantly. Then you can go ahead and use your ability here, grab that card you put on the bottom, put it back into play, you get another swing in. It's just a good time overall. This guy's great. I still do play 2 of the ones from the main set of the Commander of the Demon Clan. He does cost 3, and there's no way to cheat him out. He just, it's weird for Dragon Ball, but you do actually have to pay attention to that cost in the corner for him. However, he does have some pretty important abilities. He has Deflect, which helps you get around. This one notably has Indestructible, but not Deflect. This has Deflect and Indestructible, which means it gets around pretty much all of the counterplays. The only one it doesn't get around is the Yamcha one, but the Yamcha one can't hit him if he's the one being played anyway, which is important to note. So this gets around the Trunks counterplay, whereas this doesn't, and they both get around the Frieza counterplay, because the Frieza counter has to pick a thing to destroy, and they're both indestructible. So that's important. The Deflect's super clutch in a lot of situations. The other thing about him is he has this auto when you play him. During your opponent's next turn, your leader and your Unisons are immune to your opponent's effects of Double Strike and Triple Strike. Which, if you think about it, there's a lot of decks that need their Double and Triple Strike in order to do damage, and like a lot of things just have built-in Double Strike and Triple Strike. They're not even gaining them from like Champa and stuff, so this can help just buy you a whole extra turn. You just pay 3, it's got it Deflect, it's got Indestructible, nothing's happening to it. You're going to buy a whole turn, and then you can just evolve it the next turn, so I still really like this guy. It's kind of like a tech choice, as well as feeding into the engine, giving you a little bit of redundancy for this. And yeah, I wouldn't leave home without 2 of them. They're pretty clutch. I like them a lot.
Oh, you're gonna win? Let's just say no more Double Strike for you.
No more. It doesn't get around Quad Strike, so Cell Xeno can still be a thing.
But Heartfelt Plea, get that out
Heartfelt
of
Plea?
here.
Nah. Anything. Gogeta 7, if that was legal? Nah. Alright, gonna get into the Spice Boys here. We got Vinegar. This guy's really good. He's got that same ability of Gassiu, where you can pay yellow once your thing gets overlorded and put him into play. And he also has an auto when you play him, you dig, I believe, 5. I always forget. Yeah, you dig 5 for a yellow Demon Clan with cost 2 or less and put it into play in rest mode. Other than himself. He can't hit himself. That would be stupid. But he helps you build your board up to get all of your effects, get more Overlord targets in play, get, and just help you get a bunch of stuff in play. If you haven't gotten Roshi yet, you just put him in play in rest mode, draw a card. Really solid. Then we have the best card in the deck, Tardo. Tardo OP. I always try and win the game with Tardo if I can. That's the reason I have 2 of him in here. He's still solid. If you don't like him, you can always cut him for like another Vinegar and like another card you want. But I like Tardo. He can be useful. You can play him for the 1 just like the other Spice Boys, and then when you play him, you lock down one of your opponent's cards with a cost 4 or less, I believe. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards. Oh, it doesn't even have a cost restriction. Great. So when you play him, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, and it can't be switched to active mode on the next turn. So that can be really helpful in a lot of spots. Like their 1-drop crit that's like giving him Self-Awakening Get it out of here. Their Gotank's Grim Reaper of Justice. Like, it's huge. It's got dual attack. Nah, it stays in rest mode for a turn. Tardo super clutch. And again, my favorite win condition. And you can beat him down with Tardo. It's the best. Last of the Spice Boys, Zoldo. He's just a super combo. Just a lowly super combo. Bandai couldn't think of anything else for him to do. But you know what? He's not even a fancy super combo. All he does is draw a card if you're at 4 or less. But I really like him because he's tutorable. So you grab him with the Bulma. You know, that Bulma, you end up with that extra energy a lot of the time because you're negate, you can play for free. And the new Garlic Jr. saves you a ton of energy on the evolve turn. It takes it from a 4 energy play to a 2 energy play to evolve. So you end up with a lot of spare energy, so then you just grab free super combos and your opponent can never hit you. It's crazy good. I was playing a split with the Krillin that draws, you know, the put 1 on the bottom, draw 2. But I noticed since your leader awakens, it can go to 6 and awaken if you have the Unison in play. You end up at 6 and 5 a lot. And I ended up with a lot of spots where I just couldn't use my super combo, not even just for combo power, and I hated that. Like, you couldn't even, like, close the game with it or anything. It just did nothing. So I just like that he's tutorable. He always functions as a 10k. You can play Zamasu if you want. Like, I've considered playing a split with Zamasu. I just like having the hits. And it's more thematic, you know, he's your Spice Boy. Energy Field. If you don't know what this card does, man, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, hardly anyone plays this Garlic deck. I love this card to death. It's a counter attack, negate the attack, and you can't activate copies of it for the turn. And if you have 4 or more Demon Clan cards in play, you can play it for free. So, first of all, free counter attack. Really good. It's really easy to get 4 things in play with this deck. But it also has this permanent. If you play it and you have 4 or more Demon Clan cards in play, your opponent can only attack 1 more time for the turn. So you know that card Dormant Potential Unleashed that's like really good and everyone hates? Okay, this is it, but you get to play it for free, just like Dormant. Don't have to pitch a card though, and it negates the first attack, so they get 1 attack for the whole turn if you have the 4 Demon Clans in play. Crazy good. Absolutely stupid good card. I love this so much. My wife hates it. She's making faces right now. What's our Unison? We got Shiny Teeth Baby, Chip Skylark Baby right here. He's a 3-cost, specified 3-cost Unison to get the Awaken. He also has some good synergy with the deck. Because he has, well, first of all, he has blocker, so he helps keep you alive forever. Just like I said at the beginning of the video, you want to just stay alive as long as possible. Live your best life. That's how you win with this deck. And then he has this permanent that says if you have 2 more battle cards in play, he and your leader both get a static plus 5k. Note that works on both players' turns. I didn't realize that for like a week when I was playing this deck. I thought it was only your opponent's turn. It's both players' turns, so you get a buff on swing as well. So he becomes a 20, your leader becomes a 15 on the front, 20 on the back. You just get a static Senzu Bean, crazy good. And that's not even getting into the marker effect yet. Let's get into the marker effects. +1, at the end of the turn, restand him. So you get to swing for 15 or 20 if the permanent's active. Then at the end of the turn, restand him, you got your blocker ready. Really good. That's not all, though. He's got a -2. You can choose one of your battle cards, I believe it costs 5 or less. Yeah, 5 or less, and switch it to active mode. You know what that's really good with is, I'm going to give you a hint, is this 5 costs 30k critical. Oftentimes on the turns I'm trying to go for game, I'll just start down-ticking this. You know, I'll go like swing 30, they'll either negate, combo out, or take it, and then you go, okay, -2, swing again. You know, they gotta deal with 2 30k crit hits. That's crazy. So yeah, Shiny Teeth Baby, super good synergy with the deck. I think the idea with him being the Unison is these guys both like brainwashing people. That's like the theme, I think. I don't know, I just like that he's smiling at you. And lastly, we have 3 Vegeta Prideful Transformation. This is just your staple counterplay. You can play it for free if you have your Unison in play with 2 or more markers. I only play 3 because this is a later play Unison. It's a 3-cost, so you can't. This isn't live until turn 3 at the earliest, and you know you don't even always see this on turn 3, or you don't have the opportunity to play it. So I felt like 3 was the right number here because you'll generally end up with 1 by the time you get to play your Unison. So yeah, that's the deck. It's really fun. It plays a lot like the Bulma Earthling deck I profiled earlier. Actually, I feel because you just kind of end up building this wall of stuff, and you get value every turn. I don't even have any hard win conditions in the deck, really, because my win condition is just kind of winning eventually, which is like how I win with the Bulma deck. I used to play Fu Shrouded in Mystery for a minute, like Melvin over at Sensu Pop, and I didn't like it just because it's just dead until turn 6. Like, it does nothing at all. You can't even charge it because it's black. Don't love that. You can play Celzino, I guess, if you have it, and I do have it. I just don't really like playing it in here because it feels like win more a lot of the time when you do it anyway. So, I don't know. I just like the way this is configured. You don't need hard win conditions. If you're playing best of 3, you can maybe side like a Fu or like a couple of Fus for like the Sin Shenron matchup, or if you see a bunch of that locally, you could add a Fu just for that, because that's the main concern about playing that sort of style where you just win with value. Is Sin Shenron's going to do that better than you a lot of the time, but yeah, that's the deck. Main tip, don't Overlord too much too early, because you can do it, but then you end up not getting your 4 in play for your energy field later on, which can be a huge problem. You can do it if if you can establish your 5-drop on turn 2, because that's kind of the curve you want to hit here, is you want to get a Machio Star on 1, free play a thing, and then turn 2, you can swing with it, put it on the bottom of your deck, play your Garlic Jr., and then evolve it, because you've got 2 energy. Then you use this to play this from the bottom again, swing again at their Unison or whatever, swing for 30k crit, and then on the next turn, you can kind of do whatever after that. If you have Baby, you can play Baby and then Awaken, and start going crazy, you know, or you can just, if you haven't hit this yet, you could just play either this one or this if you just drew it for the turn and then evolve, you know. So that's kind of the first couple turns of the deck are pretty stringent, though. You really want to hit Machio on 1 and then this on 2, which is why I'm maxing out on all of them. I've seen some builds only doing 3s of like the 5 or the Machio Star, but I'm like, max consistency. So yeah, don't Overlord too much too early, and you should be fine. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out. If you've got comments, questions, hit us up in the comment section below. I try to get back to you guys as soon as I can, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.